I would like to introduce our honorable chief guest, Professor K.K. Agrrawal. He is the chairman of National Board of Accreditation, New Delhi. He obtained his Bachelor of Engineering degree from Punjab University and Master's degree from NIT Kurukshetra. Later, he did his PhD also from NIT Kurukshetra. After a distinguished service of 27 years at NIT Kurukshetra, Professor Agrrawal served as Pro Vice Chancellor GJU Hisar for a period of 3 years and then as founder Vice Chancellor of GGS Indraprasth University, Delhi for a period of 10 years. He has been president of the Institution of Electronics and Telecommunication Engineering, IET, 2004, President Computer Society and then as founder Vice Chancellor of GGS.
ट्रेडर आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही योर ऑडियो इज ऑफ प्लीज अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ
Unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. It's automatic unmute. Why? Am I audible?
yes
Yes,
please
continue.
Yes, sir. Um, um, President of Southeast Asia Regional Computer Confederation, SEARCC, from 2008 to 2010. Professor Agrrawal has published approximately 400 papers in the reputed journals, about 50% of these in international journals. He has been widely consulted by the industry, most notable being his contribution towards the reliability analysis for PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle. Professor Agrrawal was conferred the honorary fellowship by Broadcast Society of India. He was declared with Lifetime Achievement Award by IITE and also by Computer Society of India.
Yes, continue.
Professor Agrrawal has been associated with NBA in various capacities since its inception and was chairman EEAC Tier 2 before taking over as chairman NBA on 14th January 2019. We are blessed with your presence, sir, and it's a golden opportunity for us and our students to learn from you. So, next is our guest of honor, Professor Koona Ramji, Vice Chancellor, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Srikakulam, Andhra Pradesh. Our guests of these are Professor Pankaj Chandna, Dean Industry and International Relations, NIT Kurukshetra, Professor Patil Bhaskar, Principal of Gates Institute of Technology, Gooty, Andhra Pradesh, Mrs. Anubha Prasadji, General Manager SIDBI Chandigarh, Shri Gyanesh Tripathi, IES Chief Quality Assurance Manager, DLW Varanasi, Sri Vishal Seth, Consultant TCS Lucknow, our respected
person with us and hopefully we will be having very good discussions of why the need of this industry interaction is required. Since last many years we had observed that industry academia interactions are definitely going on. Last year we had conducted this particular program in our campus where AICT chairman Dr. Anil Sasbudesa was the chief guest and he was for the whole day he was in campus and we used to follow the same thing every year. So this time we were fortunate to get this valuable time from our chief guest, sir. The basic need is to just see that because the new terms are there in the education field, education 4.0, industry 4.0. Now these two terms are going to be synchronized in years. The basic need, why we are very much concerned, I will not take too much time because sir has got very limited time and other speakers are very strong enough to just give the deliberation. So there are only 4 or 5 points which I have think to just focus on this particular occasion where around 400 participants are here and many are other on the YouTube. First of all, what I would like to say that in this academia industry needs to just recognize each other's strength and strive towards the greater trust and communication. We have got each and every expertise in industries, in academia, but yes, there is a time to now to recognize the strength also. That what is the strength of industry? Why it cannot be transformed or why it cannot be given to the academia side? The academia has got a strong background of the research and development area. Why this industry cannot take the particular R&D and they can work out of the particular industry output Their R&D is also there in the industry. So this type of strength recognition is needed right now. And the strive towards the greater trust and communication. Yes, communications are there, trust are also there, but there is a time which is required to need more trust and more frequent communication among industry and academia. For example, I have got many academia collaborations with the industries. Yes, there is an effort from our side also required to be more or less frequent communication with the industry, what they are doing, what they want to upgrade themselves, whether what they want from our side, so that our we can incorporate in our syllabus. We can also inform to the student that whenever you will be passing out from the college, the industry may need these particular things from you. So second point is that India needs this structural change so that business enterprise are able to spend government funding on research and development. Still, it is there, but it needs in a broader scale, because unless until this business enterprises here, Anubha Prasad is here, who is a SIDBI GM, she'll definitely she will come forward for this particular issue, and that is needed because unless until research and development funding is not given on a higher scale, it will be a difficult situation for the academia also to go further. Third point is that collaboration between industry academia must be taken beyond fundamental research. So although we have got collaboration, we have got many collaboration in the different aspect of the industry currently in the country or abroad. But yes, definitely beyond, it should go beyond the fundamental research. There are many other areas where this collaboration has to look after. And the issue of the confidentiality of project and intellectual property right, that is IPR, it should be it should be addressed well. Although we are talking about the project confidentiality, and IPR is also another very challenging topic and in terms nowadays, it is to be also addressed in our discussions and whatever our collaboration. So the students, when they are going to be given employability area, or they are becoming employable, they should be sufficient enough to just have all these issues. Now, next point is what I want to discuss in this particular stream is that success stories of industry academia collaboration across the nation must be documented. Although there are a lot of activities going on, but if it can be documented, whatever the industry academia, this the success stories are there. It is since last, if I can remember the last 20 years, many programs are there. But if it can be documented as a nation-wise, anyone can say, yes, these are the history of this particular success stories, what we call in our system, engineering college and institution, best practices of the AICT system or best practices of institute or university. So that success stories of the Indian scenario of industry academia collaboration should be documented and should be available on MHRD website or AICT website or like this, so that we can also know that why this success came and what was the brain behind, what was the use which make this particular successful. And the last point, what I have got in my mind, that we have to see that development of a skill should also be brought to the forefront in the addition to focus on higher technical education. Definitely, skill is going to be given the main importance in NPE, new whatever it has been introduced. But definitely, whatever the development aspect is there, it has to be kept in the forefront on the higher technical education domain. If it is kept in the front, then definitely our technical education system is going to be getting a proper strength, and we will be getting the success from all the corners. Right now, we have got chairman NBA who has to monitor our NBA monitors throughout the country the quality aspect only. So definitely quality, if it is maintained, and sir has very much vast experience by the glances of the words he can say. The quality, if it is assured, then industry will definitely attract towards the student side, and there will be a lot of you can say progressive attitude of the whole nation will be definitely there as far as our education concern is there. So, with not taking too much time on this, once again, I am very much thankful to my this particular program organizers and then chief guest of honor, and guest of the day, and all the invited participants and invited guests. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Now I'll request Chairman NBS because Sir has given a time that Sir has got another engagement. So I'll request the Chairman NBA to just bless us for some few words so that we can get inspiration and we can get some clue how to proceed in current scenario of the education of the particular.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Dr. Pandey, Dynamic Director of this institution. Guest of honor, Professor Ramji Koona, Vice Chancellor, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Andhra Pradesh, and other eminent guests, including I'd like to specially mention Professor Pankaj Chandna, because he is in the same institution where I served 27 years at NIT Kurukshetra. And I remember when I left NIT Kurukshetra, he had just joined the college. And I'm so happy that today he has reached an importance of a national speaker in many conferences and other eminent guests. And I'm so happy to learn one thing, that most of the guests Dr. Pandey has invited is from industry. And that's what we need in the educational domain, because most of the times the teachers get together and discuss how industry, academia, institution interaction can come in. Now, unless the industry is a partner in these discussions don't go forward. And my presence here today on this occasion is primarily to acknowledge the good work and leadership shown by Dr. Pandey to take this institution in a remote location fast forward. And I hope it will be accelerated after this webinar today. Friends, Dr. Pandey was very right when he says that industry institute interaction should be a two-way flow. And yes, I agree, it has to be a two-way flow. I have been saying in lighter vein, probably I have been giving the same lecture for last 40 years and nothing much has changed on this subject. I remember when I was Vice Chancellor, I was asked to address the new Vice Chancellors about 16, 17 years ago. And whatever I talked there, by and large, still remains relevant. In this country, in technical education, one of the greatest lacuna has been a lack of this interaction with industry. Despite the fact that whenever we talk to the industry, they say, sir, we welcome this interaction, but academic institutions have to come forward. And when we discuss in academic institutions, they say industry doesn't appreciate it. We are ready to do that. Now, somewhere down this blockade has to be broken. And I have invariably been saying that this is a very peculiar situation where the boy and the girl are ready for marriage and only Panditji is not there to celebrate the marriage and solemnize the marriage. And industry institute interaction, both the parties are willing to come together, but somehow coming together is not happening. So somehow, somewhere, we have to bring that virtual Panditji to make sure that this marriage happens and this interaction continues. I remember your institution being in a small, relatively very remote location. I was in an industry institute seminar maybe 15 years ago, I can't really say. And number two man of TCS, Dr. Nirmal Jain, he was there as chief guest. And somebody from a small college, a head of the department, raised the question, sir, industry interaction is possible in big cities, but from a small city, industry interaction is very difficult. And Dr. Nirmal Jain replied, Professor Agrrawal was always in a small town of Kurukshetra. Did TCS not find him? Did TCS not use him for 25 years? So meaning thereby that need is more with us at the moment, and therefore we have to make sure that we become more acceptable to the industry, we become more forward reaching the industry. At the moment, I find many of the institutions feel if they are able to get industry to visit their campus or placement, industry institute interaction is done. Now that's a very wrong notion of industry institute interaction. Placement and training can be considered two very small aspects of industry institute interaction. Industry institute interaction can be in a very big manner. They should influence the curriculum. They should influence your practical trainings. they should influence teachers training, and once a while they should be able to directly take classes. So once all that is done, then only industry institute interaction really comes in. And for that, Dr. Pandey mentioned Industrial Revolution 4.0 and the speed of change. Now, the speed of change in industry is so large that history has never seen that rate of change of speed. It's probably for the first time in the history of civilization that technology is changing so fast. Now, if technology is changing so fast, industry has no option but to change equally fast. To survive, industry cannot survive till they change equally fast. But unless the academia also changes faster than that, then we lag behind. And that has been something which has been lacking in our system. And we feel, well, if I'm able to change the syllabus every 3 years, that's good enough. Well, 3 years is too long a period now. In 1950, the knowledge used to double in about 50 years. In 1980, it started doubling in 20 years. In 2010, it started doubling in 10 years. And now it appears it is doubling in less than 6 months. Now, if knowledge is doubling in less than 6 months, how fast you can change the syllabus, how frequently you can change the syllabus, and therefore it is very necessary for us to go out of the way to ensure that our students are updated, our students are well connected, well adjusted. Because most of the students are also online. So let me assure them that being on a remote location is not a permanent disadvantage in your life. It may be a short-term feeling that we are not in Bombay, we are not in Delhi, we are not in Jaipur, we are not in Lucknow, therefore we are at a disadvantage. It might look like and may even happen for a short while, but world is full of examples where this has not really happened. I remember TCS itself about 4 or 5 years ago, they started experimental recruitment from smaller towns. And finally, they observed that within 6 months, these engineers from smaller towns could compete with engineers from bigger towns equally well. Because what is lacking can be very easily overcome. And if you young students try to cover that much before you leave the college, it will be much easier for you to get into. Industry is ready to welcome you. You have to come little forward. And when I say you have to come little forward, what I'm trying to tell you is today's engineer requires much more than syllabus. You study 40 courses, you pass in all 40, maybe you get a good CGPA or you get good percentage of marks, whatever your institution or AKTU gives at the moment. But more than that, the world today demands that you should have technical skills which are being measured by CGA or percentage of marks or whatever it is. In addition, you should have life skills. When we say life skills, it means team working, project-based learning, so on and so forth. It also needs attitudinal skills. You must have positive attitude in life built in. If you are able to understand how the problems looked at in a positive attitude, most of the work is done. And if not, then it's a great difficult thing to come forward. I'll give you a small story which is there. In a library, somebody wanted to research study how does the attitude of the library staff help impacts the students. So two students were sent to two different staff in the library, and both were asked to ask for the same book from staff A or staff B. And the book was intentionally misplaced from the regular shelf to somewhere else. So student X is sent to the library to get this book. He looks at the shelf, it's not there. He goes to staff A and says, sir, I can't find this book. Can you please help me to get that? I need it urgently. And the staff says, what do you think? Am I going to find the book for you? If you can't find it, locate it, make extra efforts, get it. Fine. The student came out, he did not get the book, he came out. Then, because it was a designed experiment, he was given a questionnaire to fill in. And questionnaire was, how good is your library? How much staff is there? Is it well lighted? Does it have enough furniture? Does it have enough books? So on and so forth. The second student was sent to staff B, and he also looked for the shelf. The book was not there. He went to the staff B, sir, I need this book urgently, but I can't find it. And the staff just says, well, if you need this book urgently, I'll put somebody to trace the book for you. Give me your mobile number. The moment we are able to get the book, we'll call you and you can get the book issued. Now, both the students have not got the book. Now, this student also goes out and is given the same question to be filled in. The answer sheet of the first student, how good is your library? Hopeless. Is there enough staff? No. Are there enough books? No. Is it well lighted? No. All the questions were answered negative. And in the case of second student, all the questions were answered positive. Is your library good? Very good. Is there enough staff? Yes. Is there enough light? Yes. Is there enough furniture? Yes. Are there adequate books? Yes. Now imagine what has changed. Both the students have not got the book. The library is the same, but the complete perception of the student has changed just because the attitude of a person. Now that happens to all of us in life at most of the occasions. So half the problems in life are because of the attitude. So I'll strongly advise, because most of the students are online, please build a very positive attitude to life and you will be able to solve many problems in life. And do not remember too much that you could get admission only in Azamgarh. It's a small college and therefore you are ruined. You are not ruined, my dear students. Please remember, I have seen institutions abroad which started from very small places. There's a place in USA called Research Triangle Park. It's 3 universities, 20 kilometers each, in the form of a triangle kind of A, B, C. 3 universities, both in all the 3 towns are very small. Very small town, probably smaller than your Azamgarh. But this research triangle park is now an international hub of research for the whole world, because the intention was to build it up. And so therefore, the faculty, director, and if the students have the intention to build it up, and you keep the industry with you, keep the research potential with you, you will be able to develop it, let me assure you. Let me illustrate it with an example again. I went to Microsoft long time back to deliver some lectures. And at that time, Windows first version had come in. Now, of course, your Windows 11 kind of. And I said, I'd like to meet the core team which designed the Windows. They said, sir, today it's difficult, but when you come next, after the next week, we'll introduce. Next time when I went to Microsoft, they said, no, sir, after this, now at 11 o'clock, you can meet our team of core team which designed Windows. Friends, I was so happy to go to that room, and I found 9 young boys and girls sitting there. And I was told these 9 are responsible for designing Windows, which has changed the whole world. And when I was introduced to them one by one, all of them were 30s plus minus, between 25 to 32, 33 kind of, very young. And what I'm trying to tell you is great. 8 of them, out of 9, 8 of them had graduated. 8 of them had graduated from Indian institutions. They were graduates of Indian universities. And 9th one was the child of parents who migrated to USA a generation earlier. So as an Indian, I felt so proud that the entire team in a way is of Indian students. But much more than that, out of the 4 Indian graduates, 4 were not from IITs or NITs. They were from smaller institutions. So what I'm trying to say is, if you wish to work, if you wish to contribute, If you're determined to contribute, nobody can stop. And as they say in management, the only person who can stop anybody's growth is you yourself. So I will like to emphasize on my young students particularly, make sure that nobody is able to stop you to move forward, and just have your attitude positive, just have your communication skills updated, just have your life skills updated, and do reasonably good in technical skill. You will be able to make a success. That I can assure you. Second thing I thought I'll tell you is Dr. Pandey mentioned about new national education policy. This national education policy has made a transformative study of technical education in the sense that henceforth we believe technical education will be more broad based, because now we understand our engineers will have to be more broad based knowledge than even the depth of knowledge. A mechanical engineer are telling, I can't know how long is this room because that is the job of civil engineering. That's not all. A mechanical engineer is telling that how much is the wattage of this electricity and what does 40 watt mean, I don't know, because that's electrical. That's not on. You have to be engineer first, have general knowledge of engineering, and then build on the subject. That is the need of the time. And now in the national policy, we even go to the extent music could be a subject in engineering, cricket could be a subject in engineering, except folk dances could be a subject in engineering, and you will get credit for this. Universities will revise the things accordingly. Why I'm trying to tell you this is we are now believing formally that the overall growth of an engineer, whether by sports, whether by extracurricular activities, whether by co-curricular activities, will be more important for you to be a successful engineer. So please try to emphasize on that, work on that, and you will be a great success. And finally, my dear boys and girls, I read a paper which says today's engineers will be expected to have a T-shaped personality. And from T-shaped personality, it means breadth of knowledge of several subjects and depth of knowledge in one subject. So if you have only depth of knowledge, carry your CGPA of 9.0 in your pocket. It may not help you. You must have breadth of knowledge also. You must understand what engineering is. You must understand what Indian culture is. You must understand what problem solving is. You must understand how I have to team up with others to solve a problem. Problems in life cannot be solved by knowledge of only one discipline. Uh, Let me give you an example of the present problem, COVID. We are all affected by COVID, and in education particularly. I'm not sure how many of you know, 33 crore children in India are outside their schools, colleges, and universities to study at home because of COVID. That's the problem. I'm talking of education only, other sectors apart. Now, could this problem be solved only by doctors because it's a disease? Now, if only doctors were asked to take care of the COVID problem, we would have been in a mess. Politicians had to come in, bureaucrats had to come in, uh, transport had to come in, labor had to come in, migration had to come in, sociology had to come in, medical science, of course, had to be there. So unless several people come together for the solution of a problem, problems in life are not solved. So therefore, learn your subject, but do not believe that is enough. As engineers, you must have been taught many times what we call as necessary and sufficient conditions. It is necessary for you to learn all your subject, but it's not sufficient. You will need to develop yourself into a much better groomed personality to succeed in life and be very creative, innovative. And that's another point which I would like to emphasize, particularly because your college is in a little remote location. A larger town may have some better facilities in library, may have some better facilities in industry, but as far as creativity and innovation is concerned, it is not the domain of a larger town. It could be anywhere. We have seen in the world of people from the remotest villages giving most creative applications. As a matter of fact, I made a detailed analysis of a president of India giving awards on innovation every year. And one year I made a detailed study. Out of 33 awardees, 17 belong to very small towns. And they had brought in innovations which could impact the life a lot. And today, innovation and creativity is demanded even more than research. And therefore, my focus today addressing you is please take out from your mind that you are in a smaller institution. You are in a smaller town. And make sure that you can compete with the best in the country, certainly, and maybe best in the world. You can. And believe you me that you can. So just have these positive attitudes, be very creative. Everything you do, think, can I do it better? Can I do it at less cost? Can I do it for more benefit to the society? Just keep on thinking these things, and very great things happen. Examples of creativity are terrific. When I read the literature about creativity, they say that somebody who put a small eraser at the back of a pencil is also great creativity, because child doesn't have to carry pencil and eraser both, and he may lose one. So they put both. Hospital is a great creativity concept. So creativity does not mean something which requires millions of dollars. Creativity might come at zero cost, and therefore nothing stops you. So my dear young friends, I'll congratulate your college for having introduced this great workshop for you, listening to great experts of the day, including many from the industry. Listen to them, what the industry wants, and I can assure you, you can get all that in a college in Azamgarh without much great efforts. Just keep everything on. Dr. Pandey tells me that the teachers are committed to work with him to help you, to carry you forward. That's a great thing. And make sure that you grow into well-rounded, well-behaved engineers. As Chairman National Board of Accreditation, our first line is, when we accredit colleges, we look to knowledge, skills, behavior, and attitude. All these four attributes we look forward to in the graduates of a college when we grant accreditation. And I only wanted to emphasize all these four are important. Please stress on these and accept the knowledge part a little bit. Other three have nothing to do with it. Skills, behavior, and attitude. So at least you are 3.6 out of 4 as far as these infrastructure for these four attributes is concerned. Now it is for you to develop it, and occasions like this will keep helping you to grow. I once again congratulate Dr. Pandey to organize this and ask me to be with you for some time this morning. Wish you all the very great day and hope you have a great future. Thank you very much, and compliments once again to Dr. Pandey. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for your time, sir. Now, Prerna, request next speaker, please.
Yes, sir. Sir, thank you so
I
much,
will
sir.
give in about 5 minutes.
Right, sir. Right, sir. No issues.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words. We are grateful that you share your thoughts and inspired our students in various aspects. खूबसूरत से एक पल का किस्सा बन जाता है, जाने कब कौन जिंदगी का हिस्सा बन जाता है। कुछ खास लोग मिलते हैं जिंदगी में इस तरह, जिनसे कभी ना टूटने वाला रिश्ता बन जाता है। So, sir, I would like to introduce our speaker, Professor Pankaj Chandna, Dean Industry and International Relations, Professor of Mechanical Engineering Department, National Institute of Technology, Kurukshetra. He is having more than 27 years of experience, a blend of teaching, research, and education administration. Privileged to serve as the President Vice Chancellor Mewat University, Chittorgarh, Dr. Pankaj Chandna has been working as a professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering. His academic contributions include publishing of about 100 research papers in international and national journals, conferences, supervision of 16 PhD scholars, and 40 MTech dissertations in the varied areas of production and industrial training. In addition to the above, he has served serving as member of Board of Governors, Academic Councils, Board of Studies of various universities and engineering institutes, member of various evaluation, selection committee and regulatory bodies, member of editorial boards and reviewer of international national journals, fellow member of reputed professional organizations. He has also been recipient of many awards and appreciations. Currently, he shoulders the responsibility of Dean Industry and International Relations and the President of NIT Kurukshetra Alumni Association, NIT KAA. So, I request you, Pankaj Chandna sir, to address the event.
Yes, am I audible? Prerna, thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Welcome.
okay. Chief guest of the day, Professor Agrrawal, and probably one of the legendary person in the Indian education system. First of all, thank you for your kind words about me, and it has been always your blessing that we have been learning like day by day and reached up to the level and many more learning to come in our lives. Normally, giving a lecture after like Professor Agrrawal has spoken is a very, very difficult situation. And I'm feeling slightly embarrassed, like, because after listening like to Professor Agrrawal, like it's very difficult time for the next 15 minutes to most of the things he have already touched. But I will try to justify or maybe highlight some of the few insights about the industry institute interface, as I've been dealing with this interface for the past 20 to 30 years during at NIT Kurukshetra. My today's guest of honor, Professor Koona, Honorable Vice Chancellor, distinguished speakers from academia and industry, respected Professor Pandey, faculty members, participants of the day. A very good morning to all of you. My proud privilege and honor to be a part of this workshop on this industry-academia relationships. I place on record my heartfelt thanks to the organizers, particularly Professor Pandey, for this wonderful invite. I really appreciate the efforts of the organizer who have brought industry and academia together on a single platform at the time when we all are striving towards the implementation of our long-awaited and recently announced new education policy of our country. Pertinent to mention here that the policy explicitly emphasizes that the greater and closer collaborations between industry and higher education institutions is the only key to drive innovation and research in our country. There has been plethora of deliberations on industry and academia coordinations at various platforms, panels, and forums in the few decades, and in which several aspects related to industry-academia partnership, knowledge sharing, coordination, relationship, cooperation, challenges, perspectives, reconciliations, and related opportunities are discussed. However, I'm very humbled to say that our country is still at a very nascent stage of developing strong institute-industry linkages. There are various domains on industry academic linkages to deliberate, and we have a galaxy of speakers from industry as well as academia today. Very hopeful that all these will be covered in this workshop. And our chief guest has set a very high tone about this workshop. Probably I would like to discuss two or more important dimensions relating to this very critical interface for institute, industry, and above all, for our society. First and foremost, I would like to touch upon the employability. Employability statistics of engineers in our country are really not encouraging, as reported by a lot of surveys recently also. Recently, Aspiring Mind reveals that the employability of Indian engineers continues to be low, and when more than 80% of the engineers unemployable for any job in the knowledge economy. It becomes very painful to know that in the last 9 years have brought no change in the employability of Indian engineering graduates. Only 3.84% of the engineers are employable in software-related jobs at startups. Around 3% engineers possesses new age skills in the area of artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics, engineering, robotics, automation, IoT, etc., etc. Or maybe you talk of any exponential technologies. A much higher percentage of Indian engineers cannot write an error-free code as compared to China, which is almost 10%. We talk with industry interaction, only 40% of engineering graduates end up doing an internship and 30% do not do any projects beyond their coursework. This is why this is so. This is mainly because the Indian institutes are churning out graduates who do not match the needs of the industry. Students want skills that can help them thrive in the market, and employers desire talent that can match and evolve based upon market demands. However, the gap between talent demand and supply persists. This is primarily because educational institutions continue to operate in silos, and there is no formal ecosystem in which employers can regularly engage with the students as well as faculty. In order to achieve the objective of the improved employability, programs, courses, curriculum, technical education system has to be made more relevant, practical, and applicable in coordination with the industries. It is imperative for technical institutes to redefine the education system that caters to the differing needs of the students and equips them with the credentials needed to remain relevant in the industry and add value over time. This again calls for a strong institute industry connect to expose students to the business environment in real time. I am of the strong opinion that employability in education can only be bolstered by imparting students with the required employability skills and credentials to remain relevant in the industry and fungible across sectors. Perhaps one of the biggest bottlenecks in the country has been the absence of clear policy for strengthening linkages between the academia and industry. However, new education policy has shown us high hopes to overcome this bottleneck. As we all know, our nation is transforming from technology borrower to technology developer. And this will only trigger when innovation, incubation, entrepreneurial activities by our educational institutions take an exponential path. Moreover, I strongly believe that entrepreneurship suits this generation, as they want more control over their lives, and technology provides that opportunity. For example, in case our students, they are too busy to go to the markets, big basket as you can cover. Linear algebra is getting tougher in grade 9. Watch Byju's for tricky, easy tricks to solve. Short in cash, Paytm is the rescue. In fact, the new age businesses are the brainchild of 21st century entrepreneurs who have managed to change the world. Rapid evolution in high-speed internet connectivity and penetration of smartphones among the dynamic and young population has created a fertile ground for new businesses. And for young India, this ecosystem is rife with opportunities for entrepreneurs. Most of the colleges and universities are finding it very challenging to cultivate strong startup communities, but few have been found or established leading institutions like a lot of IITs, IIMs, and some foreign universities. We can put some examples. But if we take a deeper look at these leading institutions, we can easily conclude that a strong industry connect have paved the way for them. Every year, I put an example before you. Every year, the National University of Singapore sends 200 of its most entrepreneurial students to spend 6 months or a year abroad. These students work at a startup from Silicon Valley, New York, Stockholm, Beijing, Shanghai, Israel, and attend classes at technology entrepreneurship in the evening. Upon return to the university at Singapore, these students are accommodated in an entrepreneurial themed campus residence where they share their experiences and create their own businesses and products. Let me tell you, 350 companies have been founded and established since 2001 after this practice. With the booming startup ecosystem globally, I acknowledge that some Indian good institutes have also set up incubators and accelerators to help students with financial and technical support. However, still, most of the institutes need to take certain initiatives to open various incubators, entrepreneurship cells in coordination with the nearby industry to enlighten the students about the requirement of the society, innovation, and creativity happening in and around, awareness about the challenges and nitty-gritty of entrepreneurship, etc. The whole purpose can be to motivate the students to proceed with entrepreneurship instead of being entangled in the conventional jobs. In addition to this, it will help the students to think creatively, enhance risk-taking capacity, wisdom, character, ready to work alone with team effort, and more importantly, contribute to the society. So, third thing I would like to discuss is, which I have been like looking after for the past 8 years for NIT Kurukshetra Alumni Association, and I have found it very, very useful, like a resource for strengthening this interface. Leveraging your alumni. The institute can be new and an older one, but alumni can play a very great and crucial role in bridging this industry institute gap. In fact, alumni are the true ambassadors, loyal supporters, partners, advocates, torchbearers of any institution, however big or small it is. In the past, alumni relations or engagements tended to be considered as a standalone activity. Indeed, alumni associations were entirely dependent upon their parent institutions and they had very little interaction with the institution. But now it has become imperative for all institutions to have meaningful relationship with its alumni. We can leverage good alumni relations to strengthen this gap. I think this is one of the most potential and underutilized resource in our country available to our Indian institutions. I will put even the government is also encouraging and emphasizing the institutes to create alumni cells and seek all kinds of support from their respective alumni. You talk of any domain on this interface, any aspect of this industry institute interface, industry internship, industry supported labs, center of excellence, industry projects, research collaboration, employability skills, curriculum development, mentorship, entrepreneurial mindset, startup ecosystems, tech parks, incubation, tinkering labs, intellectually property commercialization. Alumni have big role. So finally, like with this, and my concluding my talk is that I would like to emphasize only 3 points. It is paradoxical that there is a massive pool of unemployment on one hand, but there's an acute shortage of skilled and productive professionals in every sector of the Indian economy. The academia is the reservoir from which we can harness highly trained and skilled technical manpower, and this can only be facilitated with the help of successful industry academia internship. I'm a strong believer that strong relationship between three I's, industry interface, industry institute interface, can lead to incubation and innovations. That is I2. De facto, industry institute interaction should be a national priority, and if India has to become an industrial nation. We have good institutes, we have good industries, but when they become better, they can only become better when they synergize. And if they enjoy a symbiotic relationship, society also benefits from a trained workforce answering today's most pressing challenges and creating technology to improve our lives. And finally, about the alumni, they are one of the strongest resource, and meaningful engagements with them is one of the strongest keys to strengthen the industry. So with these words, I'll try to conclude my small address, and I would like to place on record my thanks to the organizers once again, and particularly Professor Pandey, who has given this opportunity to me. And thank you very much, all the participants and all the good speakers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable information and guiding our students. We are grateful that you share your thoughts in various aspects of engineering and inspired our students. So now I would like to introduce our next speaker, Professor Patil Bhaskar, Principal of Gates Institute of Technology, Gooty, Andhra Pradesh. At present, he is working as principal, Gates Institute of Technology, Gooty, Andhra Pradesh. He also works as principal KITS Ramtek Nagpur, principal SVCET Chittoor, visiting research fellow University of the West of England UWE, Bristol, UK. He did his BTech in Mechanical Engineering from SV University, Tirupati. He obtained his MTech degree from IISc Bangalore. He obtained his PhD and PGCE degree from UWE, Bristol, UK. His area of research and interest are MRP, JIT, inventory control, production planning, mechanical measurements, operation research and research methodology, operations management, supply chain, performance measurement of supply chains, he is having 33 years experience in academics. He has consulting experience with Oracle UK, KPMG UK. He joined as guest and expert lecturer training programs in NITs, IITs, and internationally at Aalborg University, Copenhagen Business School, and University of Bristol. He worked as career counselor and academic career trainer with Engineering Staff College of India. At present, he is working on ANSYS, MATLAB, SPSS, and AMOS. He is recipient of Rajiv Gandhi Educational Excellence Award in 2012. He was selected as member UK Inward Mission 2009 to represent Indian technical education in UK by UK government. He got ideal principal by RTM, Nagpur University for the year 2014 amongst 162 professional colleges. So now I request to Professor Patil Bhaskar sir to address the event.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome, sir.
It's a very good morning to all of you. Still another 5 minutes to go to 12. As per the information, I am given 20 minutes. So I'll wind up my talk in 20 to 25 minutes. Before that, my heartfelt thanks to one of my best friend, Pandeyji, and he has given me an opportunity to listen to Sri Agrrawal Garu, NBA chairman, and other luminaries from industry. And for all those participants who are here, once again, good morning. Perhaps when you see where am I from, it's very difficult to find this place, an Indian map, okay? Such a remote place, deep south India, a place called Gooty, okay? But having said that, I need to share my peace of mind in terms of the very interesting words, okay? Industry and academia, and in between a hyphen, okay? The gap. Because these are the two words I heard first time when I was in engineering way back in 1984. Okay, and it's good or not good. For the last 33 years, I've been hearing it, both in India and abroad. In fact, in all the 16 to 18 countries, what I've been traveling, spending time, so I've been hearing this. What I'll try to do is I'll just provide some background, then we'll come back to this issue. Okay? Because most of the faculty or my friends who are here on board are from engineering education. Therefore, the way I look at engineering education in India, engineering education is a kind of a 5-tier system. For me, it's a 5-tier system. The first tier consists of the premier institutions, IITs. Okay, and the second tier consists of NITs. And third tier consists the university institutions. I mean, university owned, university conducted, university managed engineering institutions. And then tier 4 kind of a very professional, autonomous, private funded or industry owned institutions, or the other prominent autonomous institutions with a lot of collaborations. And tier 5 is like self-funding, affiliated engineering institutions, which normally people call mushroomed engineering colleges in India. Okay, unfortunately, people don't call them engineering institutions. They keep calling engineering colleges that have mushroomed in India. Okay, and to the surprise of everyone, this so-called tagged mushroomed engineering college in India produce 83.2% of engineering graduates and the diploma holders that are produced every year in India. So predominantly, we are looking at the bottom of the cake. Okay, this is where these two words, industry, academia, are like very hot cakes all the time. And to my surprise, every time each of these institutions, they've got a word called industry institute interaction. हम सब अंग्रेजी तो बहुत अच्छे से बोल तो लेते, लेकिन जो शब्द का मतलब रहता है interaction, whatever activities happen in these institutions are confined to only interaction. They do not go beyond that. We will see the reasons slightly later. But how does the kind of education, technical, professional education that happens in the West? My experience has been mostly into Europe, okay, predominantly into Europe, and a bit of it in the America. When we look at it, the institutions drive the industry. So that's what the fundamental difference. However, in India, we work in isolation. The engineering colleges or the institutions, I'm looking at only the tier 4 and tier 5. Okay, I'm not talking about tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 institutions. We work in isolation, completely isolation. That we are cut off from the industry part of it. The only time we talk the industry institute interaction is whenever there is a compliance that has to be met, such as you have an NBA visit, or you have a NAC visit, or you need to have a certain certification or accreditation. So therefore, we invite some expert from industry, engage our students, talk to them, and highlight employability skills. Okay, they give some certain inputs. This is what industry expects. Okay, therefore you better learn this. You have a program, click the pictures, write a report, upload on the Facebook, get likes, create a document, and the program is over and the chapter is closed. And again, we come back to our own cycle of teaching mode, teaching methodology, teaching the subjects what we have been doing. So the extent of involvement of industry is unfortunately confined to only that extent. It does not go beyond to it. Again, I repeat, I'm talking in general because my thoughts might be slightly radical. Okay, they may not be acceptable to everyone here because there might be exceptional institutions which might be doing extremely good. However, I'm talking at the general scenario of it. We are in a democracy, therefore I believe my thoughts will be understood properly in a right perspective by people. So therefore, when we work in functional isolation, it is extremely difficult to match the industry. And as I mentioned, predominantly it's some kind of a regimented institutional framework, because as one of the speakers earlier mentioned, the knowledge doubling happens in 6 months, the syllabus doubling, the revision happens in 6 years. And prima facie, when we look at the big Bibles which dictate the professional education data, it does not say the purpose of professional technical education is to enhance employability. The purpose is to make the Indian engineer students, young engineers, to be the driver of the social change. Therefore, the purpose with which the students study in institutions is different, or ideally, it's like we make them to learn driving a car, but once they graduate, we want them to fly a flight. So that's a kind of a gap I see. The purpose is not that everyone should be made to learn, or skills should be provided so that he becomes a pilot. No, that is not the purpose. So the purpose of professional technical education is to imbibe certain problem-solving skills and put their knowledge, whatever domain of engineering they study, put their acquired information into practice. Because let me be very blunt, we can never ever match the skills that are required by industry as an educational institution. It's extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. Therefore, the very thought that we produce engineers. Okay, today we are talking. For example, if I take the IT industry or IT enabled industry, they talk on artificial intelligence. they talk on machine learning, they talk on deep learning. So therefore, do we convert all our students, whoever into whatever domain, irrespective of interests or capabilities? So will we just make them to learn artificial intelligence, machine learning, Python? So it's not the case, because that is not the purpose of the technical professional education. So therefore, my firm belief is we need to produce, we need to make the engineering graduates to build the problem solving skills and their ability to apply them into practice. I'm talking of two things which may appear very subjective, but unfortunately, this was the biggest missing link, because when C was prominent, a language called C was prominent, so all of us, like a sheep, we driven our students to become experts in C, then C++, then maybe kind of a .NET technologies. So we're driving them towards a technology or a skill that perhaps kind of a short-lived, or it's a very dynamic. Okay, so in this process, we're forgetting the fundamental premise with which an engineering graduate has to enter the bigger society, bigger community. We're forgetting the bigger picture of it. The reason is very simple. The same set of students, when they graduate from our institutions like us, when they go to a higher institution for their masters or they go abroad, their ability to apply enhances. Absolutely enhances. So therefore, instead of focusing on employability, because the institutions, again, I'm talking of the Tier 5 institutions, predominantly these institutions, the focus, the mission, the vision of these institutions, okay, is very clear. Get 100% placement, see that the students are placed. So we are looking at such a premise. So therefore, all other things take a route of compliance. Compliance is creating documents. So we keep creating documents, make a work happen because it has to be done. Okay, kind of a hollow work. We create documents and we comply with that. The focus of the institution, if that is the case, the students cannot acquire those two basic skills, and therefore they will be unable to meet the requirements of the expectations of the industry. This is one dimension of it. On the other side, if we look at the most important resource, because this is one comment that is made on the academia who work in Tier 4 and Tier 5 institutions. These people have never worked in industry, therefore they do not understand anything about the industry. Therefore, how can they impart skills that are required to a student who is expected to work in the industry? Yeah, quite true, because as teachers, for me, when I entered academics maybe 35 years back, or for all those young teachers who are here, so you're never trained. You're never trained in an industry. But let me tell you, to all those young teachers, it is imperative for you today. It's imperative for you today. It is not just industry institute interaction, okay? Giving some assignment or in chargeship for a teacher, and it is his responsibility or her responsibility. And no, I am not industry institute in charge. I just to teach 2 subjects and conduct some practicals, okay? And then I forget. It does not happen for your generation. You got to build a link, an embedded link, and a truly collaborative link with industry. You need to make friends in the industry. I'm not saying that you should go to industry every day. I know you cannot even spend 6 months in industry. And sorry to say, most of the faculty members who are in Tier 4, Tier 5 institutions, they come to Tier 4, Tier 5 institutions as faculty because they're not picked up by the industry. Let us be very blunt on that. Okay, it does not matter. Okay, it doesn't mean that we are inferior people. We are reasonably better people. But my point is, as individual, for your individual growth, and if you want to really contribute to the student community at large, it is the primary responsibility of a faculty member to build that interaction, collaboration, association with industry. Sir, I'm in a very small place, very remote place. How can I do it? If not anything else, at least you can be on LinkedIn, where you understand, you get network with the people. and go through maybe whatever domain you work. You might be a civil engineering faculty, mechanical, or electronics. It does not matter. Get onto LinkedIn, see what these people talk at least, what kind of jargons they use, what kind of terminology they use, what kind of works they do, because people keep posting all these things. And when once you start, if not on Facebook, at least on LinkedIn, because that's where you find a professional batch of students. And this is one simple thing. And second thing, okay, every faculty member, okay, you guys have got friends working somewhere all over the world. So how many of you brought in your own friends working in the industry to the campus? Don't tell me, sir, we have to complete syllabus, we have to cover a syllabus, okay? We've got other objectives. Leave apart all those problems, okay? They're bound to be there forever as long as you're into academics. Every time principals like me or directors like, okay, Pandeji said, okay, they'll be after you guys. You cover the syllabus, cover the syllabus. Actually, we should be saying uncover the syllabus. We never say uncover the syllabus, we say cover the syllabus. Okay, how many of you bring it? Bring them, your friends into your campuses. So therefore, the seed of the connect that we need to build with the industry should commence with the teacher. But we don't have to bring a CEO of a company to a college, do an elaborative program where they deliver at a speech at a higher level, okay, and then disappear. No, we just can bring those people with whom you have networked, and not necessarily they work in a big firm like MNCs, okay. Those who can be working, okay, in a neighboring small, medium scale, okay, or a very small, even a workshop, it doesn't matter. Bring them, because that kind of interaction, embeddedness into your class, okay, into your campus, provides the students a platform to apply what they're learning on a day-to-day basis. Underline this, on a day-to-day basis. Because the only time we expect them to apply is, no, when you do your project, okay, all your 3 years, 3.5 years, knowledge, concepts, theories, theorems, philosophies, you put into practice, that we call it a project. So we wait, why do we need to wait until 3.5 years? So this can happen. Industry institute interaction does not mean that we tie up only with MNCs. It can be as small as a small tiny workshop outside your campus. No, as I mentioned earlier, my thoughts may appear radical, but let me tell you, we did this. Even a local fellow who does small repairs in a television shop, we made a tie-up, small tie-up, in the sense, and this fellow visits my electronics communication department, okay, every Saturday afternoon. And he trains my students how to repair a television, how to repair a mobile phone. Touch wood, believe me, this has given better insights for the students in terms of handling the components, what they study in theory. So such a kind of initiative as a faculty members, if we can make it, okay, we are providing better exposure for the students in terms when they graduate. This not necessarily enable them to become employable. Remember, the new education policy puts a lot of emphasis on being an entrepreneur. Unfortunately, we as an institution, we boast, we flaunt. 90% of our students are placed, 85% of our students are placed. We never boast how many of them become entrepreneurs. Maybe this is an opportunity for us under a huge umbrella, okay, of industry institute interaction to build those kind of insights for the student and the capabilities for the students. So that cannot happen with a lecture. That can happen only with the practice. Therefore, the one simple guideline that I can provide for the faculty: engage yourself with the surrounding workshops. Small companies, small and medium companies, absolutely no problem. Okay, absolutely. I mean, it should not be any problem. I don't think any principal or head of the department will raise an objection to it. So bring them to your laboratories. Bring them to your laboratories. Show them the equipment. Okay, make them to understand, or make them you to understand those things. It helps. Visit their workshops. It doesn't mean I'm a doctorate. Okay, come on, that fellow doesn't have even a bachelor's degree. It's fine, because that's how the industry per se, small, medium scale industries work. And this will sort out the problems that are associated with the institutions which are located in rural India or remote access places. And above all, okay, this does not cost much money. Therefore, the management of the college will also be very happy because we are not asking for big money. Okay, it's like a win-win situation for everyone. More than that, for all young teachers. Okay, remember, unless you build a professional network at the industry, whatsoever be the industry, it will be very difficult for you to progress. Progress yourself as an academician in the times to come, because the new education policy guidelines provide different entry levels and exit levels for the students. So therefore, if you think, no, this year admissions are all full in my college, so my employment is safe for next 5 years, 10 years, that is not going to be true. Who knows, the next year, 90% of the students who have joined in first year may take an exit route and join some other college. Therefore, the managements or the institution directors come back and say, no, you have not done anything, therefore that means they've gone down, so therefore we can't continue you here for the employment. So therefore, it's not, we're not doing it for the sake of the students who join, okay? It's even for the individual sake. This is one small thing. And I know there are some students also here, and a bit of other things for the students also. I mean, kind of a take home. Okay, what can we do as students? The way I was saying to my teachers who are here, you need to observe. Okay, whatever you observe in a small workshop outside, whether it is AC repair fellows, electricians, okay, or the motor vehicle inspectors, I mean, the workshop, whatever you see around, see them. And whatever you learn in the class, whatever your teachers teaches, you don't necessarily confine your thoughts to that. Okay, engineer is not someone who can only draw something on AutoCAD. Okay, someone who can fix a problem. Problem solving skill is one of the important prerequisites if you want to be an engineering graduate. Problem solving skills. How do I approach problem? Whether it is whatever we see, Corona or COVID-19 or any other problem what you see around. Just spend some time, maybe half an hour, 30 minutes, 40 minutes in your own community where you live, maybe in your own household. Is there anything that I can fix? I know there will be plenty of problems. If I'm not an expert, how do I go about it? Does my engineering help me to solve this? If not, where do I find solutions? Instead of spending time on Dream 11 or IPL, okay, maybe take out 30 minutes time and see if you can do it. And remember that the more you start thinking in that, spending 40 minutes, this 40 minutes time every week, I'm going to spend, or if you're active or dynamic student, every 30 minutes a day, I'm going to spend, how am I going to start that in the Madam, I think my time is over.
Yes, almost, but you can continue.
I'll not take more than 2 minutes.
Okay.
And one last piece of advice, because I was lucky enough to have worked in Maharashtra, and then now I'm here, and I know what it is like all over India in engineering institutions. One small piece of advice to all teachers, okay, to all the young teachers, kindly talk to your students in English. Okay,
yes, sir.
I'm using this opportunity. Okay, talk to them. We are the only people who can make them to get better communication skills, not a trainer from outside. Okay, no one can make them to speak in English better unless you guys start talking to them. So finally, take home lessons. Despite the fact that we are a Tier 5 institution, despite the fact that in India we work in isolation, we are cut off from industry, the best way for Tier 4, Tier 5 institutions to be associated with industry is not just interaction, but embeddedness. We got to gel well with them. The beginning that we can make is connecting with the very small, micro, medium industries that exist surrounding your campuses. And for the faculty, this is the responsibility of every faculty in every domain of engineering. So this is their responsibility. It's not, again I say, it's not the responsibility of IIC in charge or training and placement officer. And the employability of the student has to be in subsidiary output. That is not the focus. It's bound to happen in the three to 4 years, any institution, it's bound to happen. Okay, instead of focusing that, build this embeddedness, make them kind of sleeping partner in your activities, okay, it will show you greater results. And finally, for the students, spend 30 minutes a day. Okay, how can I apply what I learned into practice today? So if you can do it, I'm sure the fundamental premise with which the wisdom of the AICTE or NBA or the National Education Policy creators, so that can take a true reality only and then. Okay, thank you very much once again for all for patient hearing, and special thanks to my friend Pandaji for giving me such a wonderful opportunity to share my peace of mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
sir.
Dr. Bhaskar Patel sir. Thank you, Patel sir. Bhaskar ji, after meeting after long 92, afterwards we are just having a words with each other, and I am very much sure that I'll request again to just give lectures to our students.
Absolutely,
because
sir.
you are a very good motivator. In 92, I used to be with you,
Yes.
and you used to encourage me students in a very finer way.
Yes.
So we'll request again in the next time. Prenda,
My
please proceed.
pleasure, sir. I'll definitely do that.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable thoughts and inspirational words to our students. Now, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Mrs. Anubha Prasad, General Manager, SIDBI, Chandigarh. She is a topper in finance and strategy from one of the premier MBA Institute of India. Is dedicated to the development of micro, small, and medium enterprises (MSME) and works as General Manager in Small Industries Development Bank of India (SIDBI). A strong supporter of women empowerment, she has mentored several budding women entrepreneurs and been a guide of many startups. She has always been at the forefront of working for underprivileged section of the society and associated with several NGOs in Delhi and Bihar. So now I request to Ms. Anubha ma'am to address the event.
Thanks a lot, Prerna. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks a lot for the wonderful introduction. I'm not sure whether I can do justice with what you have spoken about me. So I was listening to the speakers before me, and it was very insightful to hear just before me, Professor Bhaskar, and before that, Professor Pankaj, and they all spoke about entrepreneurship and problem solving. And I also place on record my sincere thankfulness and appreciation of Professor Pandey for having me over, for inviting me to this very august panel, which has very established names. And I'm also taking this liberty to see that the speakers before me were mainly from academia. However, from now on, starting from me, they'll be mostly practitioners. So after me also, there are more practitioners. So I'm the first one from the practitioner side, I believe. So I come from, yes, please. I come from financial sector, and I work in the Apex Financial Institution of India, which is SIDBI. I'll just add a couple of lines to my introduction. I was a general manager in SIDBI, Chandigarh. However, I took a sabbatical and I have joined United Nations. So I'm working with United Nations on economy and finance for last couple of years. And I'm still with SIDBI for this 3 years period. And I'm also setting up an incubator come seed funding institution in Bihar, which will take care of budding entrepreneurs and innovation-driven enterprises in the underdeveloped states of Bihar, UP, Jharkhand, and parts of West Bengal. So that's one work I'm driving right now, apart from my other professional commitments. So I have experience in MSME sector. I have worked with a lot of them. Maybe the number would run into thousands of them. So I have worked on both the sides of conventional MSMEs as well as innovation-driven startups. So startups have become very fashionable these days. Idea-driven startups, innovation-driven startups. So I've worked with the startups as well. I was a mentor with IIM Lucknow's incubator. And I was on the business plan jury of several engineering institutions. And being an engineer by training, it's always a pleasure to come back to the academia because it makes you feel younger. It makes you feel younger. It makes you connect with the students as well as the faculty and see their side, because all the research or the developments that's happening on their side. So academia, innovation, and industry, they go hand in hand. And through entrepreneurship, we can try to solve many real life problems. So as Professor Bhaskar before me spoke, that the engineering colleges bask in the laurels of 100% placement, but we don't talk about the entrepreneurship culture or the number of entrepreneurs which are coming out of those institutions. However, at times it so happens that many of the engineering graduates, they work in industry for a few years, maybe 2 to 3 years. And after that, they have a dream and they have a concept and they have an idea. So they come back to setting up their own industry, either the industry or the innovation-driven startups. So I'll be mostly speaking about the innovation-driven startups and why students should consider it as a very, very potent career option rather than just a job. So very simple to understand. Be your own master. If you're an entrepreneur, you are own master. You are realizing the power of an idea. You have an idea which you think can make some changes in the world. You can make some real life problem solving. So you are nurturing that idea. You are passionate about it, and you are able to make that idea take some shape. So you can become a job creator through entrepreneurship, and you can become a wealth multiplier. So you can create a lot of wealth. It's not that when you are going for a job, you are not creating wealth, but being an entrepreneur, you can really be at the hem of the things. So driving the innovation, driving the wealth, and driving the job creation. So through some real life problems. So we have a lot of examples of entrepreneurship in India. In fact, when startup was not a buzzword, even from those times, we are having a lot of examples of innovation and entrepreneurship in India. However, of late, there are certain startups who have really caught our fancy. And in the initial days of Indian startup ecosystem, it was said that whatever works good in US or in a developed country will work well in India. So you just have to create a replica of whatever is happening in those developed countries and replicate it in India. However, it's not as simple. So we have the examples of Oyos, we have the example of Ola, we have the example of Paytms and Flipkart. All these were based on some kind of models which were time tested in the developed world, mostly in the US, and they were taken forward by these people in Indian context. However, when you come to India, it requires a lot of customization. It's not that you can drive the same business model. So while Oyo Rooms was inspired by Airbnb, the model in India got totally changed. So it's a different kind of product plus process driven innovation. So your innovation could also be in the process, in the product, everywhere. So we have actually the startup ecosystem in India has come of age now. So it's not only whatever succeeds in the developed world will succeed here. We have a lot of homegrown startups and the kind of ideas which have not really been experimented with in the developed world. Even in the countries like US or Israel, so Israel is considered to be the hub of, it's called the startup nation. It's a hub of innovation across the world, given its very small population. However, we now have startups like Big Basket. We have startups like Byju's, and Byju's has become one of the most valuable startups India has ever produced. We have recently in news, there were two startups. These are Bihar-based startups. One is Dehat and one is Argos. And both are working with the farming communities and solving their real life problems. So while Dehat works on multi-cropping, and they work on from end-to-end solution, providing end-to-end solution to the farmer community regarding the crops, regarding the inputs, regarding their supply chains, and regarding the markets, and in fact even changing the cropping pattern. And Argos work on seed banks and grain banks. So these kind of ideas have really taken up the entire farming sector and the farming community by storm. So a very good example of other homegrown startups, such as we have Your Story, and we have many more, in fact, many such startups who are really solving some real problems in India, India's problems. So now at the start of your startup journey, so I'm sure that the students who are here with us today must be having some thoughts about many of them must be having some thoughts about why to go for a startup, that is there, but then how to start your journey. So how to embark on a process wherein you can create a Byju's or an Ola. So first of all, it is I would say that innovation is something which can't really be taught in a college. It is something which you have inbuilt in you, ingrained in you. It is the way you are, your makeup is there, your mental makeup is there. However, institutions have a very strong role to play when it comes to nurturing the innovation and providing a thriving ecosystem as well as a thriving and vibrant community. That's where the institutions can play a very important role. So if you have innovative minds working in your colleges, they have some idea. So it is the entire academic community and the colleges and the startup ecosystem can provide the support which is very much required for a startup. And doing a startup or innovation entrepreneurship is a risky business. So if you look at the data of US, if you talk about highly successful startups, so it would be one in about 1200, not even 1000, one in about 1200, which become highly successful. However, a fair number becomes moderately successful, and most of these startups actually fail. So there are certain things which have to be taken in mind while you are embarking on an entrepreneurship journey. One is that the idea has to be very potent, and the idea has to be tested, not only tested by you and your friends, because they will tell good things about your idea, but of neutral customers, but by the neutral customers who can really tell you more about your idea. Then comes the execution. So execution, when you talk about the execution thing, it is a team that matters a lot. So if you are able to build a good team of your like-minded professionals, your friends, and your somebody has expertise in digital marketing, somebody has expertise in supply chain, depending on the kind of startup that you have. So that's execution is also very important. The idea as well as the execution. We are in very interesting times. I would say that none of us would have imagined that we'll have this pandemic situation in India. So even this pandemic, whereas it has been very difficult on most of the communities, most of, in fact, us, this has been a very severe, strain on our lives. However, this pandemic has also thrown open several opportunities. So especially in the virtual space where most of the startups are, location agnostic. So in the virtual space, I was just looking at some data and I could find that there are certain digital startups which have grown many-fold, maybe 300% growth or 400% growth. So it is all about, so why I spoke about the pandemic, because it is all about spotting the opportunity. So one of my friends is a venture capitalist and she runs her own venture capital firm. And I was speaking to her the other day and she told me that they have twice more number of deals happening than the earlier days, mostly because people are mostly virtual, people are working from home, they have more time and they have more investment opportunities, more time to invest on the investment opportunities which are coming forward. So that way it is all about spotting an idea, spotting an opportunity, providing a real life solution to a real life problem, and then taking it forward and executing it well. So the message from me today is the student community should be encouraged by the academia to pursue their dreams. It's not only about landing a 9-to-5 job. If you have a real idea, if you are trying to solve a real problem and you are spotting a problem for which you can provide a solution either through technology or through different kind of products, even physical products, then there's no harm in going for that opportunity. But you need to have your conviction, you need to have a potent ecosystem, and you need to have a lot of patience, because entrepreneurship is nothing which succeeds in a day. You need to have a lot of patience, you need to have capabilities, and it's not always when I come across the entrepreneurs, they mostly talk about funding. Like, since I come from the financial sector, they mostly talk about how to get funding for the startups. So I would say that funding for a startup is not an end in itself. It has to be some means to some end. And we have analyzed the world across data, and we could see that only 12 to 13% startups fail because of lack of funding. Mostly the startups fail because the idea was not good, or the timing was not good, or the market was not correct wherein they ventured, or their team was not capable to take the idea forward. So keep in mind that funding will come if your idea is good and other things are in place, because there is no dearth of investors and venture capitalists, even private equity funds and angel investors in our ecosystem. However, the idea, the execution, and the team, these are the things which are of foremost importance. So with these words, I would like to conclude my talk. We are already past the schedule, and I would not like to take much of your time. And once again, I thank all the professors and the staff of the colleges who have chosen me for this very august panel and given me the opportunity to speak with the students and the academic community. And I really look forward to more such opportunities in future. So thank you so much, and thanks all of you for even I could have a lot of learnings from my previous speakers. So let this journey of mutual learning continue. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable words. We are grateful to hear you. Now, I would like to introduce our next speaker, Sri Gyanesh Tripathi, Chief Quality Assurance Manager, DLW Varanasi. First, we will take a glimpse on his achievements. He had a team of delegates, expert engineers to Myanmar for commissioning of locomotives exported to Myanmar Railways on line of credit 16 July 2017 to 15th of August 2017. He headed a team of delegates, expert engineers to Sri Lanka for commissioning of locomotives exported to Myanmar Railways on line of credit from 15 May 2019 to 10 June 2019. He did so many foreign trainings as advanced training on diesel locomotives technology at GE Research Center, GE Transportation, ERIT PA, USA. Advanced Management Program in Leadership at ICLIF Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Advanced Management Program at INSEAD, Singapore. Currently, he enrolled as research scholar at IIT BHU, working on optimization technique. He did his specialization in locomotive designs, rolling stock, vehicle dynamics, and engineering technology management and transfer of technology, supply chain management, production management, product life cycle management, workshop management, contract and arbitration, optimizations, and resource management, multi-criteria decision techniques. So now I request to Gyanesh Tripathi to address the event.
Good afternoon. Can you confirm I'm audible or visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Welcome.
So today's chief guest, Professor K.K. Agrrawal, probably he has left the meeting, but still I place my reverence and respect to him on record. Today's guest of honor, Professor Ramji, Vice Chancellor, Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Andhra Pradesh, Professor Patil Bhaskar, the eminent speaker who has enlightened us before me, Principal, Gate Institute of Technology, Gooty, Andhra Pradesh, Professor Pankaj Chandna, a senior faculty, Dean, Industry and International Relations, NIT Kurukshetra, and Mrs. Anubha Prasad. It is indeed learning experience for me to be part of this eminent panel, and it is indeed enlightening experience. Almost everything my professor colleagues from academia has covered, which in fact demands deliberation on the gap of industry and academia. One basic thing which I picked up from Dr. Bhaskar Patil's lecture, that since 30 years it has been discussed that there is a gap between industry and academia. So I will stem my thoughts and my ideas from here on that there will have to be a gap between industry and academia. because all of us as academicians, as industry expert, we are meant to serve the Indian economy for growth of nation and to serve our own people. Industry is basically derived by the growth pattern of economy, and academia is a complementary part of industry who provides us knowledge and human resource bank. So in my opinion, academia has two basic roles: that it is a knowledge repository for every practice we do in industry, and second, it has a human resource responsibility. So if I can broadly specify and divide the roles of academia. It goes as the human resource repository, research support wing for economy for sustained and continuous growth of the country through innovation and research. And the basic and latest thing is to meet the challenge of economic growth, provide solutions for industrial problem through in-depth analysis of various parameters of problem in hand. So where is the difference? From the talks of my previous speakers and my own experience, what I gather is that the basic difference which I see is primarily over assumptions of role of human resource development. Academia has over the years assumed the role that the students which are there, they are only supposed to be trained for academic purpose and for the industrial requirement, and then their role is confined to that part only. Our contribution in research and innovation area is very, very limited. At other day, I was just trying to search the contribution of Indian research institutes and the research paper published in reputed research journals. It was dismaying minimal. So there will have to be a gap, because the requirement of industry is different from what academia is trying to cater to. If I can put bluntly, though, Dr. Bhaskar Patil has been very forthcoming and expressing his opinion and views to nail the things at appropriate place at appropriate time. But I personally feel that both academia and industry are looking at the same. There one thing comes out, that academicians don't understand the challenge and goals of the industry. This is mostly lagged. And one major important thing is we do certain kind of innovations, we do some research, and in last few years, say a decade, we have been doing a lot of startups and academic exercises also. But there also, academicians lack in marketing their work. They do not market what they are producing in their laboratories. So most of the time, academicians and industry experts, they are at different platforms. We found lacking in our own cooperative endeavors. At other day, I was also searching that American economy in last decade has been driven by, half of the economy was driven by research and innovation only. And if I put together the research and innovation done in last decade, so all the major economies include Japan, Korea, China, and some European countries, including America, you will find that more than 60% of the economic contribution has come through research and innovation work. Routine type of work which industry is doing, actually it does not contribute too much into the economic growth. So we have to focus on that area. My intention of today's talk is to motivate academic people to focus, shift their focus, and shift the paradigm also toward the research activities. And I can tell you from my own experience that innovation and research is not one-to-one correlation matrix. Neither there is a straightforward proposition. And added to it, that more you innovate, more you research, more you are likely to fail. But if you do not do any research and you do not innovate, you are certain to fail. So having this premise in my mind, I keep emphasis on 5 pillars of our academicians and industrial cooperation. They are, first of all, economy, which is growth driver for both of us. Next is infrastructure, then the systems and demography, which we are catering to, and the demand. So one by one, give me time to elaborate upon my thought on this. Indian economy, if you look, I will just place my beginning of thought since we got the independence in 1947. The situation was Indian industry was completely ravaged. We had hardly had any industry in the country. Academician side, there were hardly some 25 or 26 universities and few hundred colleges. So the condition was very, very poor. When Nehruvian economy started, we gave a lot of emphasis to heavy industry. We brought in international cooperations and invested into big businesses of steel manufacturing, heavy engineering sectors, road building, dam building, and all that things. At that time, it was required to have specialist people, specialist in that field. So academicians were given opportunity to frame their curriculum to produce academic expert engineers, and we successfully did it. Second phase comes when our Prime Minister, Mr. Sastry, has launched agriculture revolution. During that time, if I correctly remember, we had inducted agriculture engineering and agriculture sciences in our course curriculum. And as I remember correctly, in my childhood, in my small village where I was studying, I was given a home assignment of making herbarium files and making diagrams of all farm equipments, identifying the produce of different crops, keeping in the mind probably the maximum employer of the time, that is agriculture industry, will need the workforce which is being produced at that time from academia. But time has changed since 1992, when Indian economy was opened for the market in the international market and the players from the international market. A lot of new technology, a lot of new thoughts, new ideas, new facilities, new products came into our system, and we were completely found wanting. So we grabbed them. But our academicians stuck to that old thought of studies. Now at this point, our economy is poised to take a new leap, and the projected trajectory which our Honorable Prime Minister has been propagating is very high aiming. With recent word change in the word order, India is poised to become manufacturing hub of the world. And the kind of human resource we have, it is likely that we can become human resource capital and the workhorse of the world. We are already world leader in IT and software industry, and we are progressing very fast in the pace, with a very fast pace in new area of artificial intelligence and industry 4.0. So very aptly at appropriate time, current incumbent government has declared Atmanirbhar Bharat. Why I am specifically mentioned that probably have my alignment toward my previous speaker, Mrs. Anubha Prasad, that we have to shift our focus. Atmanirbhar Bharat says that you have to be vocal for the local craft, local products are supposed to be promoted and encouraged to occupy the central stage in the world market. Here, there is a tremendous opportunity for academia and industry to come hand in hand and feel arrived at the right time. Because our focus is shifting toward medium scale and local engineering firms, toward that facilities. So I strongly feel and strongly urge my academicians to shift their focus toward the MSME sector. MSME sector is the current maximum employer, which employs around 83 to 85% of the engineering graduates who are employable and being employed. And MSME sector is the only sector which needs maximum hand-holding from academicians. Second part is infrastructure. So we have a lot of, in last 70 years, we have been expansionist kind of economy. We have developed a lot of education facilities, experiment facilities, and smaller industry laboratories also. So we need to upgrade this existing facilities and develop new modern infrastructure, employing the cutting edge and modern technology with, as the buzzword says, the Internet of Things, big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning, data analytics, smart and intelligence material, and other available technologies across the globe being deployed in different fields. They should be employed in our specific area of cooperation. And it is high time that we should look inward for the engagement of scientists, engineers, researchers, policymakers to make a conducive and enabling atmosphere for complete and free flow of idea and boundaryless work. We need to create an infrastructure which is smart, reliable, efficient, and all the stakeholders, be it engineer, be it a scientist, researcher, or policymaker, we should help each other partner in the progress. The focus should be sharing the infrastructure and the knowledge available. Focus of academia, now it is high time to shift toward the maximum employer, that is our MSME sector. The advanced laboratory, state-of-art technology, which is available with academia, that should be leveraged to them. Because having these facilities is actually capital intensive, and smaller scale companies and MSME sector, they are not able to invest that much of money. Neither they can conduct research and innovations themselves. So that is the probably niche area where our academicians should explore. As Dr. Bhaskar Patil, again worth mentioning here, that a local repair shop, TV manufacturing, and other people who are engaged, that's a good step. But a better step will be to engage smaller people, particularly not from the part of teaching the subject to the student, rather than finding out their problems and difficulties and starting out through the innovative mind of the people we have in our campuses. To this, we have to place our system in proper parlance, which is actually, when I realize the system and procedures we have currently, they are more of an impediment rather than growth agent for cooperation of academia and industry. Most of them have lost their relevance, and they are proving themselves to be just regulatory framework rather than enabling agent for the change. So I place on record that these thing needs to be changed. One of my speaker has touched upon, Professor K.K. Agrrawal has mentioned it, that IPR regime needs to be changed. Because one important thing is that when you do innovation, we do research, you have to put a lot of energy, you have to toil hard. And our system does not reward you for that. Unfortunately, our professors and engineers, our professors and academicians are permitted to take part in politics, but they are not allowed to reap the fruit of the research, and they cannot take the commercial benefit of it on personal level. So that system probably needs to be placed at proper place, and it needs to be realigned to create enabling atmosphere. And research, academia, and industry expert should get their share of benefit in the hard work they are putting in. Systems should be enabling, they should not be discouraging as of now they are. I can quote Thomas Alva Edison, who was the probably the biggest known inventor of human race. He says that I never perfect an invention that did not think about in terms of services that it might give, and in terms of commercialization which it can reap. I find out what word needs, then perfect the event. So my request to academia and academician is that do not sell what you have. Rather, try to find out what industry needs, identify their needs, do research and innovation in that area. I think there is going to be a bigger cooperation between these two entities. A slight focus on demography also. If I can as it is known to everybody that India is the youngest and going to be the youngest country in the world, with average age of 28 years today, and it is likely to grow younger in coming years. Whereas the world population is growing aging, and America is poised to be around 47 years of age. They will further age, and the worldwide countries are aging very fast. This is a kind of happy news and a sad news too. Happy news in the way that we have a lot of good potential to nurture these human resource and our reap the economic, the demographic dividend for the betterment of human capital we have. Around 2.5 crore people, students are at different stages before graduate level. We can align our policy and teaching system by which we can train them for suitable for world market, international market, and make them employable in that area. This dividend of demography has a serious cause of concern also, because on one hand we are advocating application of a lot of new technology, wherein it is foreseen that the menial, routine, and repetitive work will be taken over by smart machines and robots. So we are likely to have a lot of unemployed youth at our exposure. And unfortunate part is that we are not yet ready to grow ourselves at the higher level of value chain system. We have not trained ourselves in that. So here also I see role of academia to train this staff, train this population to occupy higher role in decision making, in higher ladder of value chain system, which will support us, which will provide better solution for complex challenges industry is facing and challenges the country is facing, and probably it will change the entire technological profile of our country. We need to work sincerely hand in hand in this area. And to be slightly more open to my fellow panelists, a bit of data I would like to highlight that whatever is being taught in the schools and our engineering college, so 75% of the people do not work in the area which they are trained in the colleges, and 56% of the people do not require what is being taught in the college. Around 80% of the people, after 10 years of their service, do not remember what is being taught in the first semester of their colleges. So it only reflects that probably we are grossly at the wrong track. We are probably gauging human caliber through some CGPA. That needs to be changed at this juncture. We need to evaluate people's academia and ability of them to think in right perspective, to evaluate the problems at hand and find out the solution through various knowledge. And I can tell you every information which is being, or every knowledge which is being imparted in academic institutes is available at the click of button through Google. So unfortunately, we take exam and we ask people to take out your all gadgets, do away with your mobile phones, don't use any internet connectivity, and probably that is the last time that the student is not connected with internet. And rest of the time he is going to use internet for everything which is demanded in the society. So slight change in the attitude of teaching faculty, slight change in the academia, slight change in the student fraternity also is needed. There has been a continuous thought that you have to learn before you earn, and that is what primarily we are professing in our academic institutes, that a person will have to learn before he is eligible to earn. But now this dogma has changed a lot. People are earning while they are learning. People even they are earning before they are learning. So significance of activities being done through our institutes needs to be re-evaluated with platforms like MOOC, that internet online teaching platforms, the Byju's kind of startup. The current scenario, current practices of teaching are really being questioned. And that needs to be rethought, re-evaluated. Are we really intended to go at the right path where we are demanding cooperation and we are posing ourselves for the greater economic growth? So, as my experience, I was a principal of a technical training institute probably 6 years back in my industry. There is one thing called Apprentice Act 1961, which says that all the workshops and industry, they are supposed to engage local youth, train them for the trade which they are doing, and provide them opportunity to have first-hand experience of the industry. It extends to the level of diploma and graduates also, but only flaw is it says after completion of their degree. What I feel is it should be changed, and final year of academic exercise should be encapsulated into this, and people should be compulsorily sent to industry for their training, and they should be attached with the person who was working to have first-hand experience. Course curriculum revision has already thought of and already activated. Final thing is demand. So at this time, we have to evaluate demand, which is the maximum focus area which needs our attention. To put it again in proper perspective, I would say that till this time, India has been depending largely upon the foreign sources through technology transfer route and have been doing progress through learning technology from outside. And the biggest drawback of this route is that you know how this is happening, but they don't tell you why this is happening. So if you know how this is happening, you can become a assembler, you can become a maintainer, but you cannot become an innovator and you cannot become an engineer yourself. System engineering part is largely missing in this too. So I encourage academicians and startups to take up this area where people have been professing route of technology transfer. I have been part of around 3 to 4 TOT projects in Indian Railways. So I know it for sure that they don't share the things, they don't share technology, and they don't tell you why this is happening. And when you try to learn, it is not appreciated. So when Indian partners are coming with industries with idea of know why, probably our growth trajectory will be higher than what we are achieving as of now. And Indian industry is looking at the market for cheap and ready-made solution, which is readily available in international market. But with change scenario of world order, we are supposed to look inward. So we are waiting some academicians, some startups to come forward and provide solution as competent as the international market is providing. But still, we have our own caveat attached to it, that we want time-bound solution. We want solution which is just appropriate. We want a commercially feasible and viable solution. We cannot rely on experimenting for economic growth of the country. We are forerunner. We are the people who drive the economy. So experiments cannot be done. Now it is high time that academicians should also start thinking in the way where time-bound solutions are provided to industry. And I can tell you, if it is done, industry is always forthcoming to support our every startup and every academician. And because it was lagging, probably that is why there is a talk about this cooperation since last 30 to 35 years. If you do slight research on this, Korea and Japan are two prominent countries who have really helped through economic cooperation through industry and academia. Till 1960, even later half of the 60s, Korea was poor agrarian economy. Then emphasis was placed on research and development activities There was a lot of cooperation between academia and industries. There were specific universities developed by the academician to do all research activities. So we have large giant like Samsung in our household. I am sure half of the people sitting in this seminar also must be having phone or some equipment made by Samsung. So they have such a nice penetration in our market and such a good innovation that every 3 to 4 months they change their product. We need to match with them. And if academicians are ready to match with that all profile research activities, industry is more than ready to embrace everything in ARM. That is probably the best example I could put forth to motivate people who are listening me at this time and can think of making things in proper perspective to express my sincere willingness that from side of academy, side of industry, that everybody in the industry is more than willing to have cooperation. But it has our own drawbacks. We are growth-driven commercial people. Unless commercialization and productivization of the idea is not seen, industry will always drag its feet away from the academy. Having a lot of respect and love for the people and the partners in academia, the constraints are at their own place. So we have to abide by the constraints, fulfill the requirement, and come forth with the academic cooperation proposal. With this, I once again express my sincere thanks to Dr. Pandey, who has given me this opportunity to be part of this luminary panel, which has given me a lot of opportunity to learn new things, which will certainly help me change my views and shape my opinion when I interact with other people across the industry and academia. And I place my appreciation to coordinator Prerna Misra also accept my appreciation and feel encouraged to continue doing this work. You are doing wonderful work. Thank you very much, all the people, all the students who are listening me patiently, and the eminent professors and academicians and partners from industry for lending your ear to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words. We are grateful that you share your valuable message with our students. Our next speaker is Shri Prashant Narayan Gaur, Deputy General Manager, HURL, Gorakhpur Fertilizer Project. Due to his mother health issue, he couldn't join us and rushed to Pune. He expressed his kind willingness to attend the next event and he will interact with our students. So, now I would like to introduce our next speaker, Sri Vishal Seth, consultant, TCS Lucknow. He is having more than 18 years of experience with TCS. He holds MTech degree from IIIT Gwalior and worked as developer, project manager and delivery manager for some of TCS key accounts before moving to his current role as academic relationship manager for Lucknow region. His technical forte includes web development, data warehousing, ETL processes, and project delivery using both waterfall, and agile methodologies. He is a certified enterprise architect and professional scrum master. So now I request to Vishal Seth sir to address the event.
Thank you, Prerna. Can you confirm if I am audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Yes. Okay. So very good afternoon to all of you. And since we are running late, so I'll keep my talk very precise and crisp. So it's very good to be, or I'm feeling privileged to be part of this particular Elite Forum, where we are talking about industry and academia collaboration. So the very first question which everybody would be having in their mind, why this forum came into existence, or why we are talking about industry academia collaboration, because industry is also existing for a very long time, as well as academia is also doing their work perfectly for a very long time. But still we are talking about, and it's not today only we are talking about industry academia collaboration, but it has come for approximately over a decade since we started talking about this kind of collaboration. So the thing is, there is a gap between what industry needs, what industry requires, and what we are getting from the institutes. We are not saying that institutes are not doing well or the students are not doing well. Everybody is performing their job very well. But the kind of handshake which should be happening between all these three entities, I'll say three entities, naming like institutes, which are educating the students themselves who are becoming part of the industry, and industry who are generating the revenues by performing certain tasks. So all these three entities, they should be shaking hands at some point of time. Earlier, what was happening, students are getting admissions to the institutes are teaching them the basic education, then they are coming to the industry is training them for a certain period of time, they are becoming deployable or predictable, and then they are working on certain things, and we are generating revenue from these resources, what we call earlier. Now the scenario is getting changed. Why it is getting changed? Because industry is becoming, day by day it is becoming more and more demanding. Our customers are becoming more and more demanding. Please bear with me, because I'm coming from a service industry, so most of my talk would be focused around that area, because I would be talking about more about service industry. So when I talk about my industry, basically we are a kind of customer facing industry, so we have the people who need to deal with our customer. Now, earlier, if the person is not in good, is not having good communication skills, and then also, I mean, if he is able to perform the job well, the person is able to code well, then at least we would be having, he would be working, he or she would be working in a team. Somebody would be facing the customer, they would be dealing, single person would be dealing with the customer, and there would be a team which would be sitting behind that particular person, and they would be performing the actual task. Now, as the scenario is getting changed, we are working towards agile teams. But when I'm saying agile teams, it means everybody is exposed to the customer. So now the customer is himself or herself is monitoring each individual. So there is no interface kind of person who is, I mean, behind whom you are hiding, and your communication skills are basically hidden behind that person. So now you are directly exposed to our customers. It means you would be interacting with your customer. Whatever work you are doing, that would be directly visible to customer. So it needs a lot of change in our habits also. So that is where the industry is going, and that is what industry is expecting. Now I'll refer to one of McKinsey report where they said that 94% of engineering graduates are not fit for hiring. Though a lot of people, including me, are not very much in concurrence with whatever they are saying, but still, I mean, it's an alarming fact which they had said. I'm not saying that the whole figure is correct, but still we are also facing the same thing, where when we are recruiting the people from the engineering colleges or management colleges, we cannot directly deploy them. We need to train them for a certain period of time. And like I said, the industry is changing, and because of our customer demands, we do not have enough time to train them. I mean, after recruitment, we cannot spend 3 months or 4 months or 6 months of time in training them and then deploying them in the project. So what we need is, at least at the institute level, they should be having some kind of practical exposure. So now I would be talking about what institutes can do in order to overcome the current situation. So when I'm talking about the institute level, they need to focus more on practical aspect. You guys are doing very well when I talk about teaching the basic or core subject knowledge. You guys are doing very well, excellent job you are doing. But when it comes to practical aspects, that is where our students are lacking. They do not know how practically things are getting implemented, how the practically these things are being used in the industry. So you need to provide them more exposure to those practical aspects. You need to provide them more opportunity to interact with industry people. And also at the same time, you need to also focus on the communication skills. Because even right now, when I'm going to the institutes, I'm seeing that in the institute, the lecturers are teaching in their local languages rather than global language like English. So though I'm not saying that teaching in local language or using local language is bad, but ultimately you need to see where they are going to work for, and with whom they are going to work for. If they are not comfortable with the global language, then coming into a global industry like IT would be a bit challenging for them. So you need to focus, you need to put this thing in their mind that they need to communicate in a global language like English. Now, that is from the institute's perspective. And if I talk about faculty, what they can do. Now, earlier, the days were like, once I have studied certain things, I had done research on certain area, then I'll start teaching that subject, and that would be it. But right now, as industry is evolving at a very fast pace, rapidly it is getting changed. So you need to keep yourself upgraded with the latest upcoming technologies or upcoming things, whatever is coming in the industry. Once you are updated by yourself, then only you will be able to propagate the same thing to your students also. If you yourself are not very much conversed with the new technologies, how you are going to tell your students that which things they should be learning on? So first thing is get yourself comfortable with the new technologies. And even if it is not part of your curriculum, then also in your say project work, you can assign those kind of things to your students that, okay, I mean, though it's not part of curriculum, but supposingly if I'll take one example like IoT, Internet of Things, maybe you would not be teaching in your curriculum, but when it comes to final year project or maybe some minor project, you can tell them to build some project on IoT related technologies. That is very much possible and can be done. In that way, they would be getting the exposure on the latest technology as well as some hands-on also on that technology. So that is where faculty can focus on. Again, when I talk about communication skills, they can ensure that the working language or wherever you are giving assignments or any task which you are giving it to students, everything is done in some global language like English. And again, more focus on the lab work. I'm not denying the fact that core subject knowledge is not required. Again and again, I am saying core subject knowledge is must, but again, please give more focus on the practical aspect as well. Now, coming to the student front, what students can do in order to overcome the current situation or overcome current challenges. Very first thing is, I know most of us are coming from maybe not so good background. So our communication skills are not that strong. So what we are thinking is maybe right now, I just joined the college. So I mean, we are having plenty of time left with us. We can work on our communication skills on the final year, because right now I am not required to worry on the job front. The job thing will come when I'm in final year. But believe me, I mean, in case you are not focusing on your communication skills from day one, at the very last moment, you would not be able to brush up those things. I mean, you can brush up your core subject knowledge, whatever you have studied, but communication is the thing which comes from practice. So if you're not practicing it from the day when you landed in the institute, you would not be able to speak out when the time of interview will come. So please do practice your communication skills from day one. Communicate in the language like English with your friends also, not only with the faculty, but also with your friends, so that, I mean, you become more and more comfortable with that kind of language. Again, core subject knowledge. Please be very strong in your core subject, because whenever it comes to interviews, we always see how much good you are in your core subjects. Because if you are not knowing your core subjects, the outer or the interface will get changed. When I am talking about interface, I mean to say, like, if I talk about coding languages, the Java or C or C++, Python, these languages will come and go. But if you do not know about algorithms, how the things are being derived, if you do not know what are the analytical skills, then there is a problem. So be good at your core subject knowledge. Then earlier people were saying that something like jack of all and master of none. So right now the kind of mantra is, you need to be jack of all and master of at least one. Means you should be knowing what the things are being used in industry, what are the things currently industry is working on, and at least on one particular technology you should be having a command. so that if I am interviewing you, I should be knowing that, okay, I mean, you are familiar with all the terms which currently industry is using, but at least at one particular technology you are having your expertise, or you are very good at that technology, so that you are directly deployable in that particular area. So that is what you can do. What industry is doing at the last part, I'll be covering what industry is doing in order to overcome current scenario. So a lot of industries are focusing on internships right now. We are offering internship to the students so that they can get the actual project related experience in the industry. Second thing is industries are giving the guest lectures on the latest areas where we want students to focus upon. There are industrial visits also which are being offered by the industry, so that students can see how the industry people are working, and how the things are moving out there. uh, Coming to the specific about TCS, what TCS is doing, apart from the things which I just now mentioned, that what industry is doing, TCS is having its own dedicated AIP program. I'm part of that academic interface program team. So academic interface program team, what it does, it dedicatedly deals with the institutes, with the professional institute, and it tries to figure it out the areas where we can help them out by providing again some student workshop on latest technologies, including some soft skills also. Some faculty development programs are also part of this academic interface program. Then also we try to become part of the board of studies membership of the institutes, where we see the syllabus, and we try to figure it out how this syllabus can be revised, so that this syllabus is more in accordance with the industry. Again and again I'm saying the core subject knowledge are a must, so I'm not saying that remove all the core subjects and bring all the practical things only. No, it is not like that, because like I said, interface are getting changed every now and then, so the core subject knowledge need to be there. So while designing these curriculum, we also take care of this in mind, that the core subject should be there apart from the practical exposure, or the latest technologies wherever industry is moving towards. Then we also provide support in delivering some kind of credit courses to the institutes. And we also have a forum known as campus commune, where we encourage students to be part of that forum, and we be in touch with those students. We tell them that what industry is driving towards, what are the latest technologies which we are using. In case, I mean, since it's an open forum, students can post their questions. Our experts in those areas try to answer those queries in stipulated time duration. So that is what TCS is doing currently, and I'm very happy to see that institutes like yours are also taking this thing very seriously, where they are talking about how they can collaborate with the industry, so that the outcome, or the end product of the institutes are industry ready, and they are directly deployable to the various industries. So with these words, I would like to conclude my talk. So thank you so much again for inviting me in becoming in this Elite Forum. Thank you so much, Prerna. Over to you again.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words. We are grateful to hear you. Now, I would like to introduce our guest of honor, Professor Koona Ramji, Vice Chancellor, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Srikakulam, Andhra Pradesh. He worked as a professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, College of Engineering, Andhra University. He obtained his B. Mechanical, ME Machine Design, and MTech Nanotechnology degree from Andhra University, Visakhapatnam, during 1991, 1993, and 2007 respectively. He obtained his PhD program from Indian Institute of Technology, Roorkee. His area of specialization include spatial mechanisms, robotics, FEM, tire mechanics, and vehicle dynamics. In his credit, rank holder in BE and ME and gold medalist in ME, awarded Certificate of Merit for the paper published in the Journal of Institution of Engineers, India, 2004, and also awarded the Brij Mohan Lal Memorial Gold Medal Prize for the best research work done and paper published in the Journal of Institution of Engineers, India, 2005. At present, Dr. Koona Ramji is one of the TechUp Associate Nodal Officer for College of Engineering, Andhra University, Visakhapatnam. Earlier, Professor Koona Ramji is recipient of the Best Teacher Award from the Government of Andhra Pradesh in 2010, the Best Engineer of the Year Award 2010 from Government of Andhra Pradesh, i.e. in 2010, Dr. Sarvapalli Radhakrishnan Award for the Best Academician of the Year 2007 from AU, the Best Researcher Award from the Government of Andhra Pradesh in 2006. So now I request to Professor Koona Ramji to address the event.
You can check whether he has got some network issue or this particular Vishal can call him
Okay,
on
sir.
telephone.
Okay, sir.
It may be possible some network issue in other. Once again, you can request if he is online, he will definitely join. Otherwise, Vishal can call him.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Now, I request to Professor Koona Ramji to address the event.
He has called me. He's joining in 2 minutes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. We will.
Actually,
Yes, sir.
he was having some meeting. Now he has just called me and he's likely to join in 2 or 3 minutes because he has to summarize some other meeting and he will be coming with us. Huh?
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Actually, presently he is looking after 2 universities as Vice Chancellor in Southern India. So he's a very, you can say, engaged person as our chairman NBA is there.
Yes,
Here
sir.
NBA requested 2 days back that he want to only be in the initial 45 minutes because he has got some other meetings and all. So in the same way, the Professor Koona Ramji is also a very strong academician and we are very hopeful that the student will learn a lot from his own background.
Yes, sir.
And in Andhra, most of these particular professors are also there from different part of the country. I can see from Karad, then Andhra, and then Hyderabad and Visakhapatnam.
Yes, sir.
So all must be knowing his credentials.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, Vishal, students will be able to know things and they must have learned some new concept and ideas from this TCS and speaker, then DLW speaker, Mr. Gyanesh Tripathi, Vishal Seth each and Anubha madam, everyone has given very clear, you can say, thoughts about their industry aspect. And Patil Bhaskar is an expert, and then Professor Chandna is also a very dynamic and very, you can say, strong background of academic and general academic, you can say, development. So a student should adopt those ideas and what the particular speakers have, because they all are very engaged person, very busy person. We have requested some 10 to 15 days back, then only we could get the time. And so definitely students and faculty and also should utilize their given ideas, their thought, what the necessity of the society's demands from our students. And one thing I like very much, Zal said, sir, that it is only language, basically, whatever knowledge we are having, but we have to express also in a better way. in both the way, writing and you can say. Koona Ramji sir, are you online, sir? Our guest of honor, so he is like, he told me in a 2 minute or 3 minute, first he thought that 1:15 was the time, whether it is continued or, so he said, no, in 2 minutes I'm joining. Hello, my faculty and students all from college. I am in Lucknow with my some personal issues. So I hope that this particular workshop will be very useful for students and faculty members. So after 1 month, we will again plan to have some big event like this in month of November. Because in that AICD chairman sir told me that he will be the chief guest, but we have to get the time in advance, right in the mid of, you can say, November or December, something like that. He is going to that program will be based from all the AICT and NROs and different persons will be participating. Prendra, you asked whether
Okay.
Joined or
yes, sir.
Still we have to wait.
Sir,
Professor Ramji Koona sir, have you joined, sir?
I would like to request to Professor Koona Ramji to address the event. Sir, are you there?
Till now, he have not joined.
No, he said in 2 or 3 minutes. He called me just. He must be joining because just. He's a very particular person. He immediately dialed that whether it is program is there or I'm late. So I said, no, we are waiting. You have dialed at the right moment. It is only your turn to speak. Vishal, can you dial again to Ramji Koona sir?
Okay, sir.
Prashant, a person who is controlling this, he can see whether it is he is in meeting room or you have to allow if it is like that.
Now in meeting.
Join kar liya.
Okay. Yes. He
Then-
joined us, sir. Yes, sir.
Then you can invite, sir.
Yes, sir. So now I request to Professor Koona Ramji to address the event. Sir, do we need to introduce his intro again?
No need. We will save time.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Kindly join us.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, esteemed family members of REC College under the headship of Dr. S.P. Pandeji. And thanks for giving this particular wonderful opportunity to interact with the family members of REC College. Regarding industry academic gaps or whatever the part which I want to mention here. When I am assuming charge as Vice Chancellor at Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, we have a success stories like extension activities, outreach activities, adapting villages. See, don't think that the industry means always we have to solve problems. So what are the problems facing by industry? There are so many problems surrounding to our institution. You take a circle of either 10 kilometers or 20 kilometers or 30 kilometers. Society, socio-economic, lot of problems are facing nearby your institution. See, that is one area we have to concentrate. I think a lot of other experts has given a lot of ideas, but I will concentrate the social engagement, social innovation, society connected. Those are also we can solve the industry problems. That's what we can reduce the industry academia gap. See, what I want to mention here is all my students, faculty, used to go to the villages every Saturday. There is no classwork on Saturdays. Every Saturday, I hope all of you know the COVID-19 pandemic is given a new direction, new opportunity, new challenges for us to go ahead. See, this is the exercise we are doing since from 6 years in this particular university. Initially, we have started in a semester 5 or 6 weeks. Now, every Saturday now we are going. That is one thing. Second is we have developed an ecosystem. Like around 12 NGOs partners are there. And other like Rotary Club, Lions Club and hospitals, district officials. Like that we have formed as a 25 members as an industry. Whenever we are organizing Saturday program, we are going into the villages. By X village, like that each department has adopted one village. We have conducted Gram Sabhas. What are the strengths, weaknesses of that village we identified? Accordingly, we have prepared a strategic plan. What we have to do? What is our strength? What we can transform to the village? What problems they are facing? How we can solve? This is nothing but the gap. The industry, that is one industry. Village is an industry. We have to learn a lot of best practice from the villages. See, this is the journey we have started 6 years back. Now I can proudly say that if the ranking is given based on connected to the society, social innovation, in throughout India, we may be below number 10 we will get. In throughout world, we are in a position to top 100 rank. If that is the main parameter we are concerned. See, like that we developed a proper ecosystem. Every Saturday program, we are involving all the stakeholders and we are conducting a beautiful program and society is also responding very well. We are not giving any money or any to them. We are acting as to reduce the gap between the district officials, the stakeholders, and NGOs, the stakeholders. And at the same time, the advantage of the student is learning a lot of things. The holistic development of the student, what he is studying in the class, he try to transform to the society. He has to understand the society. Nowadays, you know, the students a little bit lacking in ethics values. See, that is one area we are teaching in the class, but in practice, he will learn a lot of things from the society. And in this direction, if you can ask what are the outcomes, deliverables, or impact, or a tracer study, or what is the socio-economic development, is the backward area. The Srikakulam is the backward area of Andhra Pradesh, is the Orissa border. What we have done is we have developed like One Bharat Abhiyan, we got a perennial award. We adapted 5 villages. We transformed here. Vaddanam is one area where the kidney patients are facing a lot of problems. See, for them, we have developed, we have transferred the technology of it. The technology transfer. That is what they are doing. They are implementing also. If they require, they will upload in a Google or a YouTube. They will get money also. While studying, they can earn something also, the students. This is one success story. The second is All India Swachhata ranking. Out of more than 400 universities participated, we got 4th rank. And just now I mentioned the ecosystem. With around 25 organizations, we are doing every Saturday activity together. This is, we can say, as a success story. See, like that, we have delivered some of the deliverables and outcomes. And here, now in Andhra Pradesh, we have some gram volunteer vyavastha. Earlier, each village has only serving 1 or 2 people. Now there are 12 persons are appointed for the development of the village. We are helping them. If a student wants a certificate, no need of approaching us. They can approach in the village itself. They can apply this and they can submit the whatever the requirement. Around 20 services they can submit at the village level, and we are delivering whether it's a certificate or a conduct certificate or a travel transfer certificate, any certificate. We are delivering from our office, no need of student coming to the university. He can apply from his village or he can apply from any place where he is working, even transcripts also. We have given a schedule of like 1 day or 2 day or like that, maximum, minimum 1 day to maximum 7 days. We are delivering this. See why that this is the one thing which I want to mention. But today topic, as you know, industry academy interaction. In so many platforms, we are debating this issue, but still a lot of problems are there. So if we can go forward, industries are ready, because here are the 2 points. The institutions are lack of faculty, 1 point, and the industry is also lack of the scientists or engineers. These are the two huge gaps are there. If you can involve with our students, definitely they will help us. See, like that, in Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in Srikakulam, we got 5 crores of money from the industry to do these activities. They have given a 5 crores, like top Arabindo given 2 crores, small other companies. Definitely the industry will also come forward to do all these activities. Only thing is you should have a clear-cut objectives, goals, what is your short-term goals, long-term goals. If your strategic plan and your objectives are clear, definitely the industry is also ready to help us. Obviously, our students will go there, do the internships and solve the industry problems, and our faculty also getting projects. See, this is one thing which I can say as a success story. Sorry for delay of joining from my side. I have some other meeting. After that, I came here. Once again, I'm thanking the Pandey sir. If you need any other information, we'll try to share it. See, this in my tenure, I can proudly say that it is one of the success story of the institution, what we are serving the society main. As you know, the Gandhiji, this is Ambedkar constitution, and Gandhiji, when we got independence, everybody feeling happy. August 15, 1947. But the only person who is not happy is Mahatma Gandhi. The reason is whether we have the self-sustainability of a governance or administration. See, that is where he is worrying about in 1947. But still, the lot of migration, that's what we have seen. Even government don't have statistics. Itna migration hai hamara country mein. See, now the COVID has given a lot of lessons to us. In that, migration is one problem. This area is a lot of migration. People are used to leave the villages and going to the urban. Now it is reverse trend started. Now definitely what we are doing definitely help this Gram Swaraj concept of the Mahatma Gandhi. I hope we are going in the right direction. Definitely it will reduce the gap between what is your today topic, the industry and academic care. This is one point which I want to touch upon, if the family members of REC, as well as once again the administration, especially my well-wisher Dr. S.P. Pandeyji and the entire family members. Thank you very much for giving this wonderful opportunity to interact with you. And thank you very much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. It's
Thank
really...
Thank you, Professor Sahab. We will request especially separately a lecture from your side to our student. And whenever COVID situation will normal, I request you to visit our college, which is very near to Varanasi, and just give your ideas and things to our faculty members. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your valuable words. We are grateful to hear you. So today, all eminent personalities who joined us are source of inspiration and motivation to us. It's my privilege to welcome our respected chief guest, director, sir, guest of honors, guest of the day. It's really nice to see the whole REC family together. Thanks a lot to everyone for joining us on this auspicious occasion. Now I request you, Mr. Vishal Kumar, TPO of REC Azamgarh, to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you. Honorable Chief Guest, Guest of Honor, distinguished guest, respected Director Sir, faculty members and my dear students. On behalf of REC Azamgarh and entire fraternity, I feel immense pleasure to propose a vote of thanks to our eminent Chief Guest, Professor K.K. Agrrawal, Chairman of National Board of Accreditation, New Delhi, and who spared the time from his busy schedule to grace this workshop with his extremely relevant address. He rightly said that there must be two-way flow in industry and academia. Whatever we are teaching in the classroom should be mapped with the industry requirement. T20. I would further extend a hearty thanks to our guest of honor, Professor Koona Ramji, Vice Chancellor, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar University, Srikakulam, Andhra Pradesh, for his address on engineers should be connected with the society and should also think in all manners, in all aspects. I take this opportunity to especially express my deep gratitude to Professor Pankaj Chandna, Dean Industry and International Relations, NIT Kurukshetra, and he truly mentioned that the alumni are the relationship of college with the alumni will definitely enhance the placement in all aspects. I also thank to Mrs. Anubha Prasad, General Manager, SIDBI Chandigarh, who slightly mentioned that innovation and startup should be very important aspect that students should be involved in that with, and also work on the new ideas and the new technologies. Shri Gyanesh Tripathi, Chief Quality Assurance Manager, DLW Varanasi, mentioned that students should be involved in real life problem solving activities. Shri Vishal Seth, Consultant, TCS Lucknow, who talked about how to fill the gap between the industry and academia. A special thanks to our Honorable Director, sir, for encouraging and confidencing us to organize such event. My deep sense of appreciation and thanks to all the participants who choose to be live with us and attended this webinar with great enthusiasm. My sincere gratitude also goes to Ms. Prerna Mishra and Mr. Prashant Singh for helping me to organize this event. The full day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.